So, the energy that I'm picking up on for this reading is very clear. You are trying to make sense of something in this connection that just doesn't fully sit right in your spirit. And I'm getting that your intuition has already been speaking to you about this loudly and repeatedly, and in moments of silence and in moments of anxiety, in the way that your body reacts to this person. You already know that something about this connection is not fully aligned. But there is still attachment here, seeking approval, codependency. There's this clinging to the idea of what this could be, to the potential, to the version of this person that maybe you met in the beginning, or the version of this person that you keep hoping they will grow into. But in the meantime, you've been putting up with things that don't actually feel good to you at all. I'm seeing blocked communication. I'm seeing avoidance. I'm seeing a lack of truth, for sure. And something about conversations that they either don't go anywhere or they leave you feeling even more confused than before. And instead of clarity, it creates this loop of confusion where you start overthinking and analyzing and doing mental gymnastics, trying to figure out what's real, what's not real, what's your intuition, what's your anxiety, what this person meant, what they didn't say. And at the same time, on top of all of this, there's this imbalance, okay? Where one of you is very much in their heart, and this is most likely you spending more time in your emotions, while the other is most likely avoiding them or not in tune with them in a grounded way. I'm getting that you are someone who feels deeply, who cares deeply, and you're trying to hold on to this connection while this person is not grounded in their emotions in the same way as you. And that naturally creates inconsistency. It creates disappointment. It creates situations where you feel undervalued while you've been overvaluing this connection and person. And I'm also picking up on this energy of wanting something conventional here, in the sense of a stable, long-lasting relationship. This energy of wanting to fit it in a box of this actually could be something long-term. This actually could stand the test of time. This could be my person. This could turn into something real. But the truth is, for a lot of you, this connection has been providing a false sense of security, because when you really sit with this energy, when you really strip away the hope, the potential, the attachment, there's something here that hasn't been fully honest. And not even just from them, from their side. This feels like a connection where at times neither of you was being fully authentic at the same time. So what we're gonna do in this reading is not just look at them, not just look at their side, but we're gonna look at what this connection actually is right now, okay? Why it feels so hard to let go or detach, what's been hidden or avoided, and what your intuition has been screaming to you, what it's been trying to show you this whole time. Because this reading is not about loss, okay? It's about clarity, and it's about coming back into alignment with yourself instead of trying to make something else align with you. So let's go ahead and start with, what is the true nature of this connection right now? What is the true nature of this connection right now? I'm just getting this energy, and this is most likely you being shocked at the reality of this situation. Someone who you felt was so loyal or so grounded at one point, or so generous and so loving, has turned out to be the opposite of everything that you thought they were. I'm getting that for a lot of you, at one point this connection felt so real in the sense of feeling like, well, I think I've just found my soulmate. I think this is my person. I think this is the one that is going to change everything. And in a way they have now, because now you know exactly what you want to avoid. You know exactly what it is that you don't need anymore, that you don't want to experience. And though you are sad about the reality or disappointed about the reality of the situation, there's a part of you that is simply ready to rebuild after feeling like everything has come crashing down. There's this energy of, okay, well, this person's actions are completely out of my control. And while this person has not shown me compassion, I'm going to show myself the same compassion that I've been showing them this whole time. Let's see. What is being avoided or hidden or not being fully expressed here? So I'm seeing that this connection and this person has left you with a lot of unanswered questions, okay? Page of Swords reversed is just reflecting this energy of someone who plays mind games with you, or someone who thinks that by not saying something, they're not lying, they're not being deceptive. But this is someone who has only been fooling themselves, because God, the universe, is always going to bring the truth to light in your life. Even if you don't see it clearly at first, eventually God, the universe, your spirit team will step in to make the truth shine right in front of you. And so for some of you, you could be still waiting on some kind of truth to come to light, or you could be waiting for your intuition to be confirmed. But there's something here about just needing to pay attention to your body. How do you feel when you are around this person? Do you feel tense? Do you feel anxious? Are you questioning yourself, gaslighting yourself? I'm also hearing something about 3 months. So for some of you, it could have been that within the last 3 months, a truth came to light and you were able to see something clearly. And for others of you, I'm getting within the next 3 months, a truth will come to light and you will be able to see clearly. For some of you, it was this person simply admitting that they didn't really want the same thing as you, but kind of just stringing you along. Being more focused on, well, what do I gain from this by deceiving this person into thinking that I want the same thing as them? So in this case, it would be a monogamous, stable, loving relationship, thinking long term. I feel that this person wasn't man enough or woman enough to admit that that's not really the vision that calls to them. But a part of them at the same time didn't want to lose access to you. So they continued to allow you to believe that y'all were on the same page. And this person thought that even if they didn't continue to pour into this connection, even if they never took action and they never really opened up or communicated with you or were truthful with you, that you were still going to stick around regardless of their lack of action or movement. So there's something here about this person feeling like they were never making as much progress as you, or that they could never see things the way that you did. And whatever faith that you had in this person, I'm getting that this person never really saw themselves in that same way, never really had that same faith in themselves to be the partner that you need, to feel deserving of you. For some of you, the zodiac signs of Scorpio, Capricorn, Aquarius, Taurus, Libra, Gemini could be significant. I also feel like this is someone who hasn't admitted to you that they're very critical of themselves. That could also be why they had been critical of you. I'm getting something about them having been critical towards themselves because they felt that they were lacking direction in their life and they felt powerless. And also maybe being by your side contributed to this energy. It's this energy of a lack of growth, like maybe feeling they weren't growing or moving forward in their life as quickly as you. And I think at one point they just decided to stop trying. They gave into the idea that something here wasn't worth the effort. And so you have to think about it like this. If someone stops putting effort into themselves and they lean into that lack of growth, lack of direction, lack of faith, naturally that will show up in a relationship as well. And sometimes it's that shows up as this person becoming more distant or avoidant and seeking other distractions outside of the relationship, not paying attention to their partner anymore. But it's because deep down they have abandoned themselves, and that contributes to them abandoning you in a sense. Okay, so now I want to see what patterns keep this connection going despite the misalignment. What patterns keep this connection going despite the misalignment? So I'm hearing the lack of courage to choose oneself, the lack of courage to admit that it is possible to be happy and healthy alone, or the courage to admit that it is possible to attract a healthy, loving relationship that doesn't look like all of this chaos. But in order to get to that point, in order to get to that realization, there has to be this willingness to confront the agony and the pain and the uncertainty or the intimidation of what that future looks like without this person, without the need to be dependent on a reality that involves them, even though you're not even happy. Presently, if there is fear in fully letting go, whether it's physically or emotionally or both, or even spiritually for some of you, if there's still fear in letting go, it's because you haven't yet discovered that strength within you that is ready to persevere, that is ready to venture off and withstand the danger or the difficulty that you might have to face in that mourning phase, in that grief phase, in that acceptance phase, that this connection did not live up to your expectations, that this connection was not what it seemed to be at all. How is this person showing up versus how they actually feel? Yeah, I think this person has always, in a sense, made it be known that, hey, I have free will, so I'm going to do what I feel benefits me. And I don't always need to be bounded by this connection. But instead of telling you that directly, they were always letting you feel like something was going to be a maybe here. Like, maybe I'll come around and decide I want to be permanently in your life. Or maybe I'll come around and want the same vision of you, of commitment. But this person, like I said, they couldn't be man or woman enough to say that they weren't ready for that kind of life, or that they even wanted that kind of life. What role has the viewer been playing in maintaining this connection? You've been deceiving yourself, assuming, despite the reality of the situation, despite this person's actions, despite all of the pain that they've been causing you, that they're going to come around, that they're going to change for you, that they're going to use their free will to do so. But here's the thing. If that's the true reality, you would be seeing the changes that reflect that reality within this person without you having to tell them what to do all the time. If this is someone who you're really meant to be with, you would just need to tell them one time that something hurts you, and it would change. And the only reason it wouldn't change is because they are unhealed and they need to mature and grow, or they don't love you like they claim to, or like you claim that they do. You have to pay attention. You have to ask yourself, based on this person's actions, is this connection something that is in alignment with my values and morals? Does me staying in this connection feel like my authentic truth? Is this my dream relationship experience? Let's see. Does this connection align with the viewer's long-term values and desires? So here we have the first card that came out is Emotional Storm. If this is the future that you want for yourself, keep waiting for this person to change. Because this is a situation where they're not going to change while you are putting up with their BS. It's either you let go and you attract a healthier connection, more loving connection that can provide you that stability you are after, or this person wakes up to the fact that they need to heal through the loss of you. But it's not going to be this thing where they're going to learn because you keep giving them access to you. And your guides are showing here that if you want to continue to experience turmoil and continue to be affected by this person and this connection in a negative way, then stay exactly where you are. But if you want better for yourself, which you most likely do because you're watching this video, know that you have a choice in this as well. What is the truth about the stability or potential of this connection? That just hoping for something to change doesn't get you anywhere. It just has you feeling more exhausted, more depleted. And not only does that lead to conflict in your external reality, but it leads to conflict within yourself as well. It leads to you lacking confidence. It leads to you questioning your worth, questioning your place in someone's life, questioning why you are not more of a priority. It makes you doubt yourself. So now I want to look at what this person's actions reveal that their words do not. This person's actions reveal that they are unawakened, that their ability to treat you this way, in this manner, that is hurtful, is a sign that you and this person do not presently share the same level of consciousness. And I'm also saying that their actions, or lack thereof, I would say, is proving to you that this person is someone who hesitates. This person is not someone who acts from a place of confidence. This person is more of a thinker, someone who waits for the perfect moment to do things, not realizing that waiting is what allows another person to slip away. Waiting and wishing and hoping and thinking, none of that creates real life progress if there isn't intentional action to back it up. And it's sad because I do feel like this person wishes that things could be different, that they could be different. But like I said, they lack faith in themselves to see it through. For a lot of you, you could resonate with this person being your twin flame, or thinking that they were or are your twin flame, divine counterpart, whatever you want to call it. And maybe for some of you that is true. But people really tend to minimize a twin flame connection and try to put it in this conventional romantic box, when more than anything, the majority of the time, this kind of connection comes into your life to wake you up to all of the ways that you've been holding yourself back from experiencing true, divine, unconditional love, starting with yourself. Even though at first it feels like you have so much love to give this other person, that love was always meant to be given to yourself first. Understanding that naturally, by pouring into yourself so much and not just focusing that energy outward, that you would naturally attract someone who pours into you in that same way. And while for some of you, it is possible to have a 3D union with a twin flame, that is not something that can be guaranteed for everyone. And time has proven again and again that we are not here to control outcomes. We are here to control how we react to things, how we react to them. And we're here to prove to ourselves that in any and every case, it's always possible to make the decision that best aligns with our true, authentic desires. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting and asking for exactly what you want. And sometimes it takes asking the wrong person for what you want, to see that they're not able to give it to you so that you can move on to find someone who can. Nothing in this reading that I've shared with you is something that you didn't already feel on some level. This wasn't new information. This was confirmation for a lot of you. And I think that's the part that hits the hardest, because it brings it back to yourself. Not to them, not what they might do or say or become, but to what you already know and what you've been trying to make peace with. Because the truth is, when someone is aligned with you, it doesn't require this much confusion. It doesn't require you to overthink every interaction, to analyze every word, to shrink parts of yourself just to keep the connection intact. And I'm not saying any of this to make you feel like you've done something wrong. If anything, all of this shows just how capable you are of loving deeply. How much you're willing to see the good in someone, how much you're willing to hold space and be patient, to believe in potential. But there's a difference between love, divine love, and overextending yourself in a place where you're not being met. And I feel like that's the exact energy that you're being called out of. Because at some point you have to ask yourself, is this connection fully fulfilling me? Or am I holding on to what I wish it could be? And if you're being honest with yourself, not hopeful, not attached, not trying to make it work in your head, you already have your answer. You don't have to keep choosing something that isn't choosing you in the same way. You don't have to keep proving your worth to someone who has already shown you, through their inconsistency, through their lack of presence, through their actions, that they're not able to meet you where you are. And more than anything, you can trust yourself. Your intuition isn't trying to confuse you. It's not trying to sabotage something good. It's trying to protect you and guide you.